Usually, if you're traveling to a large city, you get there via a freeway. For example, if you're traveling from Detroit to Chicago, you would take I-94. Or if you're traveling from the suburbs to downtown, it's usually also along a freeway. That's generally how it is across most of the US and Canada, and even parts of Mexico. Except one place. This is Manitoba, province of Canada, with a population of 1.5 million, which makes it slightly larger than Hawaii and Maine, both of which have extensive freeway networks. However, Manitoba has no freeways, not even in its largest city, Winnipeg. Why is this, and will one ever get built? Winnipeg is the largest city and capital of Manitoba, with a population of 750,000. This makes it Canada's 6th largest city, and it even has an NHL franchise. But despite this, it has a metro area of less than 900,000, which is comparable to a city such as El Paso in Texas. Now, cities of this size usually don't have traffic issues. However, Winnipeg does. In fact, it's the 6th worst in all of Canada. Now, this can be attributed to its lack of freeways or lack of a metro system. Whatever the reason, drivers spend on average 94 hours a year sitting in traffic, which is more than Montreal, which is 4 times the population. But if the data and statistics are there, why hasn't anything been done? Well, it's quite simple actually. Back in the late 50s and early 60s, when all the other cities were starting to construct freeways, the Winnipeg Council proposed a large web of freeways crisscrossing the city. Some of these would have absolutely destroyed downtown. So the public fought back, and it was deemed that this was far too ambitious for a city of its size. So they cancelled every single freeway. Since then, Winnipeg has constructed tons of divided arterials, such as Route 135 and Route 165. Some of these routes have an interchange or two, but they also have tons of traffic lights, which slows down traffic a lot. But how come you never hear anyone complaining about it? Well, that's a great question. I looked over Reddit threads and forums, and one user summed it up better than I ever could. They said, "The lack of a giant freeway running through downtown actually gives Winnipeg a huge leg up in becoming a better city. One of the reasons Vancouver is a great city is because of the lack of a giant downtown freeway. I much prefer a ring road around the city and pushing traffic onto larger thoroughfares. We need more infill development and people should live closer to where they work anyways." And that's just the reality. The city is such a great place to live because of the lack of a giant downtown freeway. And sure, traffic may suck, but it never takes longer than 30 to 40 minutes to travel to downtown anyway. In comparison to a city like Calgary, which can take up to an hour, and they have a lot of freeways. And the rest of the province just simply doesn't have enough people to warrant one. When over half of your province lives in one city, the rest of the province is going to be pretty sparsely populated. For example, the distance from Winnipeg to Brandon, Manitoba's 2nd largest city, is over 200 kilometers, and the demand simply isn't there to justify one, mainly due to the fact that Brandon only has a population of 60,000. And it's not like the trip is along rural 2-lane roads with lots of turns. Its entirety is along Trans-Canada, which in this portion of the country is a 4-lane divided highway. So while it may not be a freeway, you can still travel upwards of 100 kilometers an hour on it, just like if it were a freeway. On top of that, short stretches of this highway are controlled access, such as this short 15-kilometer bypass around Portage-la Prairie. It may have 1 or 2 accurate intersections, but all the main and busy movements are dealt with via an interchange. But this begs the question, could Manitoba expect to get a freeway in the near future? Well, the Trans-Canada between Portage-la Prairie and Winnipeg averages 15 to 20,000 cars a day, which, in comparison, is slightly less than what the 402 has between Centre Road and Curwood Road near Stratford, Ontario, which is one of the least used portions of freeway in Ontario. So, unless something major happens, it's unlikely for this to become a freeway within the next 20 years. The next most plausible section to be upgraded to a freeway is the Perimeter Highway, and heck, in some portion, they are already upgrading it to be a freeway. Along the south portion of the Beltway, they have started construction on a series of interchanges. I couldn't find whether if they're upgrading the entire portion of this road to a freeway, but since they're resurfacing turn lanes, it's unlikely. The Perimeter Highway can have an AADT upward of 35,000 cars daily, such as on the north edge, but most of the time it's somewhere between 15,000 to 20,000 cars a day. And given the fact that during the last census Winnipeg grew by 13%, it's not unlikely to see this become a full freeway within the next couple of decades. The final highway I'm highlighting is Manitoba Highway 190. This highway is along the northwest portion of the metro. Now, while it doesn't have interchanges just yet, it is a 4-lane divided highway with an AADT upwards of 20,000. On top of that, it is also planned to get extended from the Perimeter Highway to the Trans-Canada, serving as a bypass for the town of Headingley. Now, there is a chance this bypass is a freeway as they're planning on constructing an interchange at the west end of it. However, most of this is pretty far out, so in the near future, I wouldn't bet against the proper freeway being constructed, but it's certainly not likely. Thanks for watching. Alright, before I end off the video, I'd like to thank you all so much for the support on my most recent video. Seriously, 18,000 views is insane. It's more than I've gotten on any of my channels. Thank you all for the nice comments and constructive criticisms. With that being said, this will most likely be my last video for the next little while, because high school is starting up and football season is starting, so I'll have much less time to work on videos. However, if you made it this far, why not hit subscribe? Hitting 500 subscribers would be genuinely awesome. And feel free to comment a video idea, and you'll see you on the next one.